Hello and welcome. Today we're doing a practice for the core and the shoulders and focusing on inversions, specifically forearm stand as was requested, which I'm excited about. We're gonna get started today on our backs. You might wanna have some blocks with you. Just one is fine, but wherever you are, meet me on your back. You can plant your feet about hips width distance apart on your mat and reach your arms up overhead towards the top of your mat. Take a couple of breaths to settle in and arrive in your practice. On your next inhale, lift the hips for bridge pose. Arms are reaching long to the top of your mat overhead. As you lower the hips to the floor, reach your hands towards your thighs. And just a few times, inhale, lift the hips. Arms reach to the top of your mat. Exhale, lower the hips, hands find your thighs. Take yourself through about 5 more cycles of this, reaching along to the top of your mat. The backs of your palms rest, and then lower the hips. Palms find your thighs. Using this moment to start cycling the breath in a way that is fluid and deep. Maybe 2 more. And last time, lift the hips, reach the arms up. Exhale, lower the hips, hands down to the thighs. Bring the shins to parallel to the floor. You're hovering them up off the ground. And then lift your shoulders. Arms are gonna reach down by your sides. From this sort of dead bug position, you're gonna straighten out the right leg, let it hover. Straighten out the left leg, hollow body. Pull the right knee back in to a parallel shin to the floor, and then pull the left shin in. And then left leg goes straight, hover over the floor. Right leg goes straight, left shin comes in, right shin comes in. 1 more on each side. Straighten out the right leg, straighten out the left, pull the right knee in, pull the left knee in, go left leg long, right leg long, left knee in, right shin in. Straighten the legs up to the sky, relax your chest down, circle out the ankles, circle out the wrists. Connect your right knee to your right elbow. Reach your left leg long and your left arm long. Hold. Take 3 breaths. Try to squeeze your elbow and knee into each other. Keep your lower back rooted to the floor. And switch. Left knee, left elbow, right arm long. Left arm is maybe at the base of your head. Your hand might be cupping your head. For neck support, I always like that. 2 more breaths. Release, both knees come into your chest, hands behind the head. We're gonna take some bicycles. You'll go right elbow to left knee, and then left elbow to right knee. Back and forth for 10. When you make contact with elbow to knee, if you do, try to squeeze your knee and elbow into each other for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find a tuck position, release your head back down and draw some little circles with your knees in the air. In both directions. And last thing here, legs go straight up to the sky. Lift the chest, arms down by your sides. We're gonna do straight leg switches for 20. Trying to gently warm up into the hamstrings before we move out of our core progression. Arms can be down by the sides. Your shoulders are hovering off the floor for 10. For 5, 3, 2, 1. Release, rock up and down the spine. Making your way all the way to a seat. You're gonna take your legs long out in front of you, straight legs. And we're simply gonna start with a fold. And then as you lift up, you'll draw your right leg up towards your chest. So a hip flexor activation, and then let it go and fold. Lift up, right leg lifts off, left leg lifts off the floor, straighten it out. Let it go, fold. One more on each side, right leg lifts and fold. Left leg lifts as you lift up the chest and fold. Nice. Lift up to seated, plant your feet to the floor, plant your hands to the floor behind you, fingertips are pointing towards your hips. Reverse your tabletop position as you lift your hips up off the floor. As you lower the hips, we're gonna find a boat pose, a high boat. Shins parallel to the floor, arms out to the sides. Back and forth, reverse your tabletop. And then find your boat. And again, reverse your tabletop. Maybe you take the legs straight in your boat pose this time. Reverse table. Boat pose. One more time. Reverse table. Boat pose, option to have the legs straight. Maybe the arms even reach up over your head this time for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross over your ankles and find your way to a tabletop position. When you get there, point your fingertips to face your knees and start by taking some cycles of cat-cow. Drop the belly as you inhale. And round through the upper spine as you exhale. Take 2 more breaths to move it back and forth. One hand at a time, you're going to return to a neutral position with the hands. When you plant your hands down into the ground, press the floor away, spreading across your shoulders, and then hover your knees to just an inch above the floor. For 10. You got this. See if you can shift your weight a little forward and a little back, a little side to side. Maybe even some little circles over the wrists. And push yourself up and back, downward facing dog. When you get there, pedal your feet. Move it around in any way you would like to. Nice. Take your feet a bit wider so they're about the width of your mat. And now we're going to shift forward to a plank position. When you get there, tap your right hand to your left elbow and then open up to a side plank. The feet will come to the inside and outside edge. Right hand comes back to left shoulder, return to plank and press it back. Downward facing dog with the feet a little wide. Shift forward plank. Bring your left hand to your right shoulder and then open up side plank on the right hand. Reach the left arm up to the sky. Circle the wrist if you need. Left hand back to the right shoulder. Square your shoulders to face the floor and then push it back, downward facing dog. We're going to add on a little bit. Continue with a similar pattern. Shift forward, finding plank. Right hand to left shoulder. Try to keep your shoulders square to the floor. And then open up side plank. This time, bend your knees and your hips back a little bit. And then press it back forward. Shift back into your plank pose and find downward facing dog. Second side, shift forward. Left hand to the right shoulder. Shift open side plank on the right. Bend the knees and your hips back. And then press it forward, side plank. Square the shoulders to the floor, plank pose, and then downward facing dog. One more addition, maybe two, we'll see. Shift forward plank. Right hand to left shoulder, side plank. Bend the knees and your hips back. Push it forward back to your plank and draw your right knee to your right elbow. Take a breath. Release, come back to your plank and send your hips up and back. Shift forward plank pose, moving over to the right side, left hand, right shoulder, open up. Bend the knees and the hips back. Push it forward to your side plank. Draw your left knee into your left elbow. Squeeze elbow into knee, take a breath. Send it back, side plank. Square your shoulders to the floor. Push it back, downward facing dog. Lower your forearms down to the floor for a dolphin. You can bend into the knees as much as you need. Press into the floor with your fingertips, your palms, your forearms. Take a couple of breaths. If you wanted to pedal out the feet, you could. I'm a big fan of lifting one foot off the floor and placing my foot to the back of my Achilles. So I'm getting a bit of a stretch down the calf to distract me from my shoulders. And then if you're doing that little calf stretch, you can switch sides by placing your other foot to the back of your Achilles. And both feet find the floor. Soften your knees down, keep your toes tucked. Sit hips to heels, arms reach up to the sky, cactus out the elbows. And then again, reach up, cactus the elbows. And again, reach the arms to the sky, cactus out the elbows. Lift to standing on the shins. Draw your right knee up into your chest. Step forward, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Circle your wrists. You can untuck the back toes if you'd like. You're gonna go all the way up to standing on the right foot. Draw your left knee up into your chest. Arms reach up to the sky. Open and close your hands in and out of fists for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward fold to the top of your mat. Pedal out the feet, shake the head. Nice. Halfway lift, lengthen as you inhale. Exhale, hands find the floor, step back, plank pose. Pause, take a breath. Either stay in your plank or shrug the shoulders by kind of letting the chest come down a little bit and then pressing the floor away and rounding across your upper back. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push it up and back, downward facing dog. Lower your forearms to the floor, dolphin pose. And again, just a few cycles of breath. Pressing the floor away, letting your head be heavy. Sending your chest back towards your thighs, although the knees can be as bent as you'd like. And soften the knees to the floor, keeping the toes tucked under. Sit hips to heels. Sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, cactus your elbows. Sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, cactus the elbows. One more time. Sweep it up. Cactus the elbows. Shift forward to standing on the shins. Pull your left knee into your chest and step to the top of the mat. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana, circle your wrists. Nice. Shift forward to standing on the left leg. Pull your right knee to your chest. Arms reach up to the sky. Open and close your hands in and out of fists for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward fold to the top of the mat. Take a breath. It's time for me to take off my long sleeve shirt. Take a couple of breaths here to pedal out the feet. Sway it side to side, maybe clasp opposite elbows. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, plank pose. One more time, you either stay here or you shoulder shrug for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Step the feet wide in your downward facing dog so they're the width of your mat. We've been here before. Shift forward, plank pose. Right hand to left shoulder. Open up side plank. Bend your knees, send your hips back. Press back side plank. Draw your right knee and your right elbow towards each other. Now step your right foot to the top of your mat. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Arms reach up to the sky. Cactus out your elbows. Option to reach behind your back for opposite forearms or interlace the hands and open up the chest. Keeping the grip, shift your weight forward and come to standing on your right leg, pulling your left knee up into your chest. Forward fold, keeping the grip if you would like to the top of your mat. Bend your knees, rise all the way to stand, release the grip, arms reach up, cactus out the elbows. And forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step back to your plank. Move it through a vinyasa if you would like by bending the elbows halfway, lifting up, upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog, lower your forearms to the floor. Forearm down dog or dolphin. Take 2 to 3 cycles of breath. Welcome to pedal the feet. And anytime we meet dolphin, if it's too much, you can always settle into a child's pose or a puppy pose or just a downward facing dog. One more breath. Press back up to your down dog. Move your feet a little wider. Shift forward, plank. Left hand to right shoulder. Open up side plank. Bend your knees and your hips back towards the heels. And then press back forward, side plank. Left knee, left elbow. Squeeze it in. Step your left foot to the top of your mat. Drop your back knee. Arms reach up. Anjaneyasana, cactus out the elbows. Reach behind your back for opposite forearms. Opposite hand on top this time, and find a grip of your choice. You might choose to interlace the hands. If you do, opposite thumb on top. Shift your weight forward, come to stand, draw your right knee up into your chest, and then exhale, forward fold, keeping the grip of the arms. Bend your knees, roll up to stand, release your grip, arms reach up, cactus the elbows, and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, hands to your mat, step back, plank, and move it through a vinyasa. Downward facing dog, drop the forearms, dolphin. Of course, it's optional. I'm going to take a few sun salutations with a dolphin pose and also a hollow body. So it's going to be a spiced up and slightly different version of the sun salutation, but similar purpose, to keep us warm and moving. So you can stay in your forearm down dog or lift up to your downward facing dog. We're gonna hop to the top of the mat to find a forward fold. So if you're doing this from your dolphin, you'll bend the knees, grip into the hands, and then hop to your forward fold. If you're doing it from your downward facing dog, same thing, just no forearms on the floor. From forward fold, halfway lift, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms reach up, cactus the elbows. Reach back up to the sky, and forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen, bend your knees, sit your hips down to your heels, drop your hips to the floor, find low boat pose or a hollow body shape. And take a breath. If you want to make this more challenging, you can reach your arms over your head. Ooh. From here, lift up high boat, cross over your ankles, and step or hop back to your plank and your chaturanga vinyasa. When you meet downward facing dog, you can stay there or soften the forearms to the floor for your dolphin. Take a breath. And again, we'll hop to the top of the mat. So onto your toes, bend into your knees, and hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms reach to stand. Exhale, cactus the elbows. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift, lengthen. Bend into the knees, drop the hips to the heels, and then drop your hips to the floor, finding your low boat pose. Reaching your arms out to your sides or up over your head. Lift up high boat, maybe the legs straighten, and then cross over the ankles and step or hop back for your chaturanga vinyasa. Lower the forearms to the floor. We'll take this one more time. You can stay in down dog or find your dolphin. Take a breath. Maybe you feel like you have a little more space to press your chest back towards your thighs. And onto the toes, bend into the knees, hop to the top of your mat, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms reach up. And exhale, cactus the elbows. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, hands to the floor as you tuck onto your toes, lower your hips to the floor, low boat. This time, you're gonna either stay in your low boat or take 10 high to low boats. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, I'll take one more, I guess, because I fell back. Cross over the ankles, step or hop through your vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Pause when you get to downward facing dog. Step your feet a bit wide, come up onto your fingertips. You're gonna bounce your chest back towards your thighs. You're welcome to bend the knees as much as you need. This is a great way to open up across the shoulders, similar to a puppy pose in the goal. Think of your dribbling like a basketball underneath your chest to the floor. It's a visual that one of my teachers told me, and it made sense. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk your hands to the back of the mat, finding Malasana or Yogi squat. Interlace your fingers, circle out your wrists. We're gonna take a crow walk to the top of the mat, getting some weight into our hands, strengthening into our shoulders. So how this is gonna work, reach your hands out forward. You'll press your knees into the backs of your arms, shift forward. You could lift the feet off the floor for crow, or they can stay down. And then you'll try to step your feet a little closer to your hands and find malasana again. Hands reach forward, shift your weight into your hands, and bring your knees onto the backs of your triceps. Round through your upper spine like you're doing a cat pose, and then step your feet a little closer to your hands, find malasana. One more time, shift forward, crow, malasana at the top of the mat. Interlace the hands, circle them out, and find a forward fold at the top of your mat. Roll up to standing, bump your feet in a little closer and sit into your chair pose. Hands reach up to the sky. From chair, we're gonna come to stand and bring the right knee into the chest. Send it back, crouching warrior 3, which means that your left knee is bent. Nice. Warrior 2, step the right foot to the back of the mat, cartwheel the arms open, warrior 2. Skandasana at the back of the mat, side lunge, hips to your right heel, sit to the back of the mat. Wide-legged forward fold. Straighten out both legs, grab onto them if you'd like. This is gonna be your first option for a headstand if you would like. You can of course skip it and hang out in the fold. Although if you would like a headstand, you'll bring your either you could do tripod, which is hands to the floor and head to the floor, or you could do forearms to the floor, interlace your fingers, place your head in your hands, and then press up to your straddle or straight legs. Taking whatever option you would like, knowing that every option is great. And if you are upside down, make your way back to your wide-legged straddle fold. And we're gonna walk our hands back to the top of the mat, finding a lizard lunge. So hands are on the inside of the left foot. And you're gonna straighten out and bend your left knee 3 times. Inhale, straighten it out. And exhale, return to your lunge. One more time. Step back to a plank, move it through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Step the feet a little wide, bring your fingertips to the floor, maybe make your stance a little shorter, and bounce the chest. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk your hands to the back of the mat, malasana, yogi squat. Circle out the wrists if you'd like. Hands to the floor in front of you, crow walk to the top of the mat, finding your crow pose, or the feet can of course stay on the floor. And then malasana, hands reach forward. Reach a little farther out in front, set up crow pose. Grip the floor with all of your knuckle pads that are on your palm and the ends of your fingertips. Malasana, reach forward. Last one, crow. Malasana, circle out the wrist by interlacing the fingers. And forward fold. Bend the knees, roll up to stand. Bring the feet a little closer to each other. Sweep the hands up as you sit back, chair pose. Reach a little higher, thumbs drive behind you. As you stand, bring your left knee up into your chest. And then send it back, crouching warrior 3. Hands at heart center. Step your left toes to the back of the mat. Open the arms, warrior two. Right knee is deeply bent. Shoulders are down away from your ears. Side lunge, skandasana at the back of the mat. Hips sit towards your left heel. Wide-legged straddle fold. Another option to get upside down and work into your headstand. You have the same options with the hands if you wanted tripod or interlaced hands. They're just two versions of setting up for a headstand. And of course, if you're playing and you wanted more time, you could always pause the video. That's the great thing about doing a class online, is you have complete control over your speed and your playtime. If you're in headstand, we're going to come out by bringing the feet softly back to the floor and finding a wide-legged fold. And then walking the hands back to the top of the mat on the inside of the right foot, lizard lunge or runner's lunge. And then you'll straighten out the right leg and bend it. You can always have your hands up on blocks if you'd like. Nice. Next time you bend into your right knee, step back to your plank pose and move it through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Soften your knees to the floor. Walk your hands out far in front of you for puppy pose. Trying to send your chest down towards the floor. The microphone's on the ground, so apologies if that made any sound. Thumbs can face up to the sky if you'd like. And then forearms to the floor, dolphin pose. This time, we're going to work through another sequence before we play with our forearm stand. But in dolphin this time, I'll suggest reaching one leg up to the sky, trying to shift your weight forward a little bit, so maybe you're just on your toes. And then switching sides. We'll be here for a few more breaths. It's also great to just be in your dolphin. But if you're with me, you're sweeping one toe up to the sky, and you're shifting your weight forward so much that you can be on only your big toes or just the tip toes of your feet. Another side. And eventually, we'll drop your knees down to the floor and we'll take one more puppy pose. If you had blocks and you wanted to, you could set your hands up onto them to get a little bit more space to sink into. And again, my microphone is on the ground, so apologies. Release. If you had blocks, you might move them out of the way. We'll come seated on the shins for a moment and just shake the arms out, up overhead, side to side. We have one sequence to move through that's going to combine pretty much everything we've done. And we're going to play with forearm stand. And from there, we'll probably cool it down. Okay, so meet me in a downward facing dog. Feet wide as your mat. We've been here before. Shift forward to your plank. Right hand to the left elbow or shoulder. Open up to your side plank. Shift your hips back to your heels and then press back to your side plank as you draw your right knee into your right elbow. Take a pause. If you wanted, you could straighten out your right leg to spice it up. And then we'll step to the top of the mat, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. This time, interlace your fingers except for your pointer finger and your thumb, and then try to open up across the chest and reach back. Release the grip as you come up to standing. You'll bring your left knee up to your nose and then sit into your chair pose. Come back to stand, bring your right knee to your chest. Warrior 3 with a crouching stance, so bending into the left knee. Warrior 2, open it up. Left knee is bent, gaze is over the left, fingertips. Skandasana, back of the mat. Wide-legged fold, option to get upside down in a headstand if you would like. If you want to press into a forearm stand, you could do that too. Feet find the floor. Walk your hands back to the top of the mat on the inside of the left foot. And then once this time, straighten out, modified pyramid. Bend into your left knee. Step back, move it through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. One dolphin. I know we've done so many of them. And if you're tired of it and you're like, Ainsley, no, then of course you don't have to. But dolphin pose, forearms to the floor, take 3 breaths. If you wanted to lift a leg and shift your weight forward and push it back, you could. And eventually, drop your knees to the floor, walk it out, puppy pose before the other side. Walk your hands back under your shoulders, press up and back. Downward facing dog, feet are wide. Shift forward, plank pose. Left hand, right shoulder, side plank on the right. Bend the knees and the hips back. And then push it forward, side plank, as you draw your left knee up into your left elbow. Maybe you straighten out the leg to create a little more spice, compression, and then step your left foot to the top of the mat. Low lunge, interlace your fingers, except your pointer finger and your thumb. Reach it back, open the chest. Stand all the way up, pull your right knee into your chest. Chair pose. Stand up, left knee to chest. Warrior 3 with a crouching stance in the right knee. Warrior 2, cartwheel the arms open, right knee points forward, gaze over right fingertips. Skandasana, back of the mat, hips to the left heel. Wide-legged fold. One more moment for headstand if you want. Any variations in the legs that sound good to you. Otherwise, you're in your wide-legged straddle. And we'll come back down to the floor and walk the hands to the top of the mat on the inside of the right foot. And just once straighten out, modified pyramid. Bend back into your right knee. Step back plank. Move it through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Soften your knees to the floor. Before we find pincha / forearm stand play, I'm going to have us do one cycle of half circle camels so that we have our spine just a little bit more open, check in with the shoulders, and then we'll get into it. Okay, for half circle camel, and you can always choose a regular camel as well, you're going to start with the toes tucked under, bring your right hand to your right heel, and then sweep your left arm up overhead, finding a big camel shape. And then come back through center and sweep it over to the other side. Moving back and forth. If you wanted to go deeper, you could untuck the toes and grab onto your heels or your ankles. One more on each side. And center. Amazing. Okay, we're gonna set up for pincha, mayurasana, or forearm stand. And I'm gonna give you a couple options. If you already know what you're doing, go ahead and play, but you have some ways you can set up for this. So dolphin pose is where we will start. And you might choose to have your forearms to the floor like this, where your elbows are coming straight down from your shoulders and your hands are pointing straight out from the elbows. If you're like me and you have very tight shoulders from whatever it is, your life, whatever it is you do, it's possible you'll feel your hands like guiding in towards each other like this when you start to play. You could choose to set up in a diamond shape with the hands one on top of the other, or the hands kind of next to each other overlapping, that's fine. Or you could press the hands into each other, finding more of like a prayer hand into the floor. I am working on trying to keep my hands straight out from my elbows in a more parallel position, and I use my block to put between my hands like this. I'll make an L with both of my hands and then squish the block. You can also just place the block between your forearms too to stop your hands from moving in. So let's play. Set up in your dolphin if you want to grab onto a block, or you want to bring your hands into prayer and press them into the floor that way. You have options. If you are still feeling a little spooked by bringing the feet off the floor, you can always stay in dolphin and just build strength here, shifting forward and back, that kind of thing. If you are feeling ready to kick up, sometimes having a wall behind you is helpful in case you kick a little too far, but you'll bring one toe up into the sky, shift your weight a little bit forward, and then kick, just floating a few times. Eventually, maybe you'll kick heel to butt. I'm trying to demo that. Ooh, like that. And then eventually you'll probably find a little balance where you can come all the way up. Keeping your legs in a stag can be a little bit more supportive for your balance than any other shape. I also like sort of a froggy shape, sending your butt back a lot, or a straddle shape, like so. You'll probably feel at some point that your shoulders are like, holy cow. It's possible you don't feel that and you just have superhero shoulders. But when you do, you can always come out, give it a shake, find a puppy pose, whatever it is, and then continue to play. I'm gonna give us like 10 more cycles of breath to play. I'll continue playing on screen too, if you wanna watch or pick up on any specific ways. But otherwise, do what you need to do. You can always take headstand or handstand at this point as well. And I like to bring my gaze towards my thumbs or drop my head completely and do a drop gaze. Both are options. Ooh. Nice work, everyone. If you're wanting to continue playing, you can always pause the video, keep working on it. But when you are feeling done, we're gonna meet in a tabletop position. Just take a couple cool down stretches. And any equipment or props can be moved to the side. Start by sweeping your right hand up to the sky, and we'll take a twist by threading the right arm through to the floor and resting over it. You can reach the left arm behind your back or to the top of your mat. Unravel, sweep the right hand up to the sky, and then return to the floor, left arm up. Thread it through the window of your right arm in the floor. And either reach right arm to the top of the mat or behind your back to your left hip crease. And we'll exit the way we came in. Right hand to the floor, sweep the left arm up to the sky. Both hands find the floor. We're gonna meet a downward facing dog for just a moment. Feet are a little wide. And I want you to just shift it around, forward and back, bending into the knees, getting a little traction in the side bodies. Maybe that bounce feels good. But just kind of exploring your downward facing dog and the arms as a focus in as many ways as feels interesting for another 3 breaths. Drop the knees as you're ready. Cross over the ankles. Find your way to a seat. Bring your legs out in front of you. Arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, fold Paschimottanasana, reaching for the feet or the ankles. Trying to lead with your belly button. And lift back up when you're ready. Lower all the way onto your back body. Plant the feet hips width distance apart. Lift the hips up for a bridge. And reach the arms up over your head. We've already been here today at the beginning of class. Wiggle out the fingers. Maybe open and close the hands in and out of fists. Slow down your breath. Neither stay with the hands up over your head or sweep them underneath your back. Interlace the fingers and find a bound bridge pose. Opening the chest a little more. Release the clasp of the hands. Lower the hips down, draw your knees into your chest, arms out to a T, and drop the knees over to one side and then the other. A little massage for the lower back, a little twist for the core. We have one final little active moment for the core to bring things all back to neutral before we rest in our final resting pose. So find center, open the legs out to a straddle. Lift your chest off the floor and reach between the legs so you're lifting from the shoulders, and hold for 10, 9. You can always bend the knees for more of a frog here too. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to your back, happy baby. And then release the feet, finding your final resting pose. I'm gonna suggest legs up the wall. You could just bring your legs up the imaginary wall in the middle of the room and your arms out to the sides. Or you could find a real wall. Either way, getting the feet over the heart, the legs up. It's really supportive for your circulation, especially if you're doing this in these colder months. It's February here in California, but it is very warm and sunny, so I shouldn't be talking. Let your weight soften down into the floor. And take a few minutes here to rest, to reflect on your practice. And I hope to see you again soon And I'm very excited to move with you again. Okay, goodbye.